Me, I was a kid in school that was like getting straight A's, like B's too. I had a scholarship to Princeton, did not take that.
Wait, whoa, pause.
That's
Let's run that back. Let
everybody
me
loves
run
that
back.
story. Everybody loves that one.
You had a scholarship to Princeton.
Yes, man. Did not take
One of
it.
the most prestigious schools
Yes, man.
in the country.
Yes, man.
And you didn't take it.
Nope.
Welcome back to the Shared All Podcast. I'm here, your loving, growing coach, Joy the Growth Coach, and I'm here with a friend of mine, Kenny,
Nice
also known as Zlutty.
Zlutty 4K.
Zlutty 4K. Sorry, I want to make sure I got it correct.
No, you good.
So today we're here talking with Zlutty 4K about who he is and what he's gonna do in the music industry, and also to know him personally as Kenny as well, so you can get a well-rounded individual.
Deep dive.
And also talk about his mental health, how it's affected him, and his music, and yeah. So, what would you like me to call you for the podcast, Zlutty or Kenny?
Professional. Let's do Kenny.
Okay, let's do Kenny. So then when we switch it maybe to talking about music, I'll call you Zlutty.
Yeah.
That sound better?
Yeah, that's better.
All right, cool. So Zlutty and Kenny, tell us a little bit about yourself and tell us where we can find you at.
Well, of course, you can find me on Instagram, TikTok. I don't do Facebook, don't like it. But if you want to, Zlutty 4K on all platforms, on all social medias. Zlutty 4K, simple as that.
Okay, but tell us a little bit about yourself
About
and what
me?
type of music you do, all around it. We need to know everything.
So basically, my music, I'm into like the drill rap. Sometimes I'll do the melodic feel. Whatever I'm in the mood in, like if I'm feeling like sad or whatever, I'll go for like the more melodic feel. If I'm feeling a little hyped up or I want to make my friends dance, I'll go with the little drill hype music. About me, like before music and everything, I was more into like football, hanging around with my friends. I would rap occasionally, like it was during like football practice and everything. Like people will see me like freestyle once in a while and they'll be like, why don't you rap? I'm just like, nah, I'm not a rapper, I don't really rap. Like 2-3 years later, now I'm like picking up a mic and I'm rapping. So yeah.
Do you see that as something like, it's just like, well, I was surprised, I never thought I would get into this?
It's not like a surprise because like when I was younger, I always loved music for some reason. Like it was always like a passion of mine. Like I'll be like with my mother, like my mother's like heavy into church music. So like she'll be playing gospel all around the house and I'll be singing along with her while she's cleaning. Or like my grandmother, like she'll be playing music and like I'll just be singing along with her. Like she'll be in a choir. My grandmother was in a choir. We'll be singing along with her in the choir. Like I'll be like 6 years old right next to my grandmother's leg, like trying to sing with her. It was like, it's crazy. So music always been a part of my life.
Okay, I can appreciate that. Yeah, I grew up in the church too. So music's always been a passion of mine, but I'm just not meant to sing it. I'm meant to sing it in my shower. And that's it. I'll give you that.
Respectfully.
Look, but I want to get into a few topics regarding mental health and things like that. And then we're going to get into nitty gritty of like definitely who you are musically. I got a few questions for you. And yeah, let's get into it. So, do you know what mindfulness is?
Mindfulness? Not really.
If you could take a guess at a definition, what do you think the definition might be?
Just to be like mindful of like what's going on, of like what's like your surroundings, I guess.
Okay. So I'm gonna give you the definition in which I give my clients. Mindfulness is a state of being. It's being present within and practice of meditation and awareness. Mindfulness came from the practice of John Kabat-Zinn. He studied a lot of mindfulness, and basically he was like, through the art of meditation and through the art of just being present, you start to become aware of yourself, and then also the interaction of others and how the world integrates around you. Now, do you know what self-awareness is?
Basically being self-aware of everything that's going on, self-aware of like your surroundings, your environment, just like who's around the place you're around, like just being just aware.
Yeah. Self-awareness is basically just that. Like self-awareness is just being aware of oneself and how it also interacts with the other being or like, you know, the world around you. Just like if for prime example, if I go outside and yell, I have to be self-aware of how it's going to interact with my neighbors, how it's going to interact with the world, even, like creatures that are around me might stop and be like, what's going on? So just being aware of oneself and one's actions. So I'm glad that I got to educate you, because I always say on my podcast, not everybody knows what mindfulness or self-awareness is. So my job as a coach is to educate and tell as many people as I possibly can about the practice. So I'm glad that I got to do that. Do you think at all self-awareness and mindfulness play a role within one another?
I feel like I don't think so, to be honest.
They actually do. They go hand in hand. In order for you to be mindful, you got to be present within that moment, right?
Putting me on some game right now. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm glad I got to do so. In order to be mindful and whatnot, you have to be present in one's moment, and you have to be self-aware of how it's going to affect you and affect the others around you. So it's really important that you take the time out to just even learn about mindfulness. And even if it's not through the art of meditation, it can be through journal writing, it can be through learning sleeping habits, through yoga. A lot of people learn mindfulness, and especially just the idea to just be quiet in one's thoughts, and like how it just slows your body down through sometimes like some type of physical activity. But it's not a physical activity that's going to be so heinous, but it requires like a stillness. So yeah. Okay, so I got a question for you. Okay. Do you know what instant gratification is? I think I educated you a little bit about it, right?
Before, yeah.
So you got it. Okay, cool. So now that I educate you about that, how do you think instant gratification actually affects our generation? Even though you're a little bit younger than me, but how do you think it affects our generation, and how do you think it's how we can make a change moving forward?
I feel like just like social media in general, like before, like when we were talking about it, like I feel like that in general is just like seeing like 1,000 views. Like when I see 1,000 views on one of my posts or a TikTok, like right there, I just feel like instant gratification. Just like, oh my God, like I got 1,000. Like I didn't think I would get 1,000. Like I would think I would get like 100 or something. So like I'm instantly gratified by that. Like I feel like our generation is just controlled by that. Like everybody's controlled by likes. They're controlled by comments. Like they want to see how many comments I can get. They want to see how many likes I can get, to the point where like it like destroys themselves. Like YouTubers even would say it too. Like it got to the point where like someone had to like really see them go down a spiral. Like a one YouTuber, Logan Paul. I don't know if I'm allowed to like talk about like certain
No,
things.
you can. Like you can give somebody else's experience. As
Like
long as you're not talking negatively
yeah,
about
no,
them.
of course. But it was like Logan Paul. Like he was like at the height of his career, and then like he had like that one mistake where he went into a suicide forest. And he just recorded a man who recently, of course, done what he did at the forest, what it was called. So, at that moment in time, he saw it as content. He saw it as, oh, I'm about to get 1,000 views, 1,000 likes. He didn't see what the consequence was going to be. And I feel like a lot of people in our generation don't see the consequences behind the shits that we're going to do. Like a TikTok or a video on Instagram or a song that we're making. Like we can say something in a song and then we can be like dissing someone that could be like deceased or anything. And like we at the time will be like, oh, it's cool. Like, well, let's see how many views I'm gonna get off of it. But then like later on, that person could pass away just off of the simple fact that you dissed that certain person that you weren't supposed to diss. So yeah.
I think sometimes our generation forgets that for every action there is a reaction, and sometimes those actions really have deep consequences that cut real deep, like, and it affects not only that one person, but it affects the whole village in which they have around them. So I think that as a life coach and as just a person of color and just in general, my job is to help educate individuals about instant gratification. Like I was telling you earlier, instant gratification has an effect on our dopamine and serotonin levels. We're constantly trying to chase that that dopamine high that we're striving from. Like if you're sitting here on your phone like all the time, like, okay, like I'm looking for the next like, I'm looking for the next story, like what's new. But nobody knows what a baseline of serotonin levels are. Like I can't remember, honestly. I can remember what it used to feel like without a phone, but imagine talking to somebody that's 12. They don't. I think the last time they remember not having a phone was probably when they couldn't speak.
Of course. And probably by that time they probably had something like a tablet or like something in front of them, a TV or anything.
Yeah. So it's really difficult for this generation to actually remember a time when they didn't have that. And even though like you can limit the amount, and which is I think what I tell like new parents, if I can give a suggestion, to limit the amount of time that you give your child on these devices, because it does have a significant impact to the amount of time that has to do into their development. And even just as I was a behavioral technician, ABA therapist, I used to literally tell my parents, I'm like, I'm understanding that iPads and iPhones are used as a learning device now. However, when your child is too addicted to it, when I used to go have sessions with them, they could not do anything out. They would not want to do anything. They had no motivation unless it involved having some type of smartphone or smart device. Yeah. So learning to limit that so your child doesn't feel enabled by that behavior is really important. So yeah, I'm glad to got to educate you, Zlutty, but now it's time to get into the nitty gritty of things and definitely talk about you and your music and your mental health. So, Kenny. Oh, also, guys, I wrote down some notes and whatnot that I definitely want to ask. But hopefully I remember them off the top of my head. So, what's Kenny the person like really, really like? And like how has music impacted who you are, and how is it defined like what you face on a daily basis?
Like Kenny the person, like he's shy. Like he's shy. Like he's a real shy person.
Really?
Like really, really shy. Like
when I met you the first time, you didn't seem shy. You seemed a lot more outgoing.
It's just like I'm in my environment. Like I have to turn on a character. You know what I mean? Like it's just like the person. Like I'm shy. Like I'm usually in the house watching something, or I'm calling like Jaden or my brother just to like sit down and have a conversation. I'm a homebody. Like I love being home. I love being under my covers. Like I just love being home, or just writing my music or writing my poetry. That's usually what I usually do. That's Kenny the person. But Zlutty's a completely different person. He's like the opposite, I guess. Like he's like wild, like a wild kid, like
Would
a wild
you say like
child.
he's like your alter ego?
Basically. Like he's like the wild child. Like he's like the 6-year-old, like how Kenny was when he was like 6, basically. He's like that wild kid. Like he doesn't care about what happens. Like he just wants to do whatever he wants to do. Like if it's like going to like a store to just like wreak havoc real quick, he's gonna do that. Like if it's like writing a couple songs about somebody who he really doesn't care about, he's gonna do it. If it's belittling somebody, he's gonna do it. Like that's a completely totally different like alter ego of me. Like that's just someone who's just like, I don't know, it's just that's what I feel in my music. Like when I'm writing my music down, like that's what I feel. So yeah.
So how do you feel like Zlutty has an impact on like the music in which you make? Or how do you actually, let's ask this question twice. How do you feel like Kenny has an impact on the music and TikToks you make? And then how do you feel like Zlutty has an influence on the TikTok or music you make?
Like I would say like Kenny would be more of like, he's more of like the person who will like educate you. Like he's gonna put you on to like what's going on. Like let's say if like he's went through something with a female or something, he's gonna let you know like, listen, if she doesn't call you at a certain time, just know she's not the one, type of thing. Like, or listen, like don't say this, that, and the third about this person because you don't know what's the consequence behind it. Like don't talk about a certain gang if you don't know the history behind it. Like those are usually what I'll usually try to educate people. Zlutty don't care. Like he's dancing, he's a fool, he's acting out, he's doing what he has to do, type of thing.
Oh wow, okay. So you actually like know the difference. I could definitely see. Do you feel like Zlutty makes more of like the drill rap and then Kenny makes more of the melodic?
Yeah, I can see that.
Okay, that makes sense. Do you think like even Zlutty kind of dives into the melodic at all, or more like not really?
He could if you wanted to, like type of thing. It's just like Zlutty's more of like he's more of a aggressive person. Like he tries to be more of the aggressive, try to show like the aggression type of thing. Sometimes he'll try to like I'll try to dive into like the melodic things and everything sometimes, but it's just like it wouldn't fit in certain aspects. Like certain songs just wouldn't fit.
Okay. So I'm gonna ask you a question in regards to your music and Kenny. How do you feel like the challenges in what you have faced in your life? How do you feel like you incorporate that within your music? Like even mental health wise, like
basically, like, I mean, past things like childhood things, I would never say like that doesn't really incorporate in my music. Like I never really dove deep into that. But like relationship things or like friendships or just stuff that just happened recently while I was making the song, like those are the only times that I really would like speak experience into my music. And those are the songs that people usually relate to the most because for some reason, I don't know why, the things that happen in my life, people has gone through it too. So
what's your most relatable song that your fans enjoy?
love song for some reason. I don't know why, but like that's like their favorite song. They feel every lyric, every note. Like I just don't know. Like they just love song.
Okay. Let me ask you this. Tell me what type of impact would you like to have on your fans and you want your fans to know about you?
Like I just want them to know that like you could do anything.
And that's the impact that you want to have?
Personally, like just yeah. I mean that you can do anything if you put your mind to it. Yeah. Like I just want them to know that like don't feel like you're like because your parents told you can be a doctor or your parents told you could be this or you could do that. Like that's what you're supposed to do. Like if you want to sing, there's a way that you can make money off singing. Sing. If you want to dance, go dance. If you want to be an artist, be an artist. You know, find your passion. Like that's what I want to let my fans know. Find your passion. Like whatever it is. People's gonna talk shit about it. Like people's going to make fun of you. People's going to say you can't do it. People's gonna say, how are you gonna do it? It doesn't matter. Just go out and do it. Because when you go out and do it and you prove them wrong, they have nothing else to say.
I can 100% agree with you. I've had a lot of friends like growing up. I would tell like the 1,001 ideas I had, like even for my business. Like this is an idea I came up with, and it's hard. It's not easy, but when it's your passion, it never always feels like work. Some of the behind the scenes feels like work,
definitely.
but
Definitely.
the things that like, but sitting down having a conversation like this, it never feels like work. Life coaching individuals, it never feels like work. It's just the paperwork that feels like work, or the editing. But to say all that to say, it's like when you're really motivated, you're passionate, your work ethic changes, you're motivated to be better and to do better for other individuals that are definitely around you. So I definitely could understand and relate that you want to have your fans like feel that like whatever you can do, you can put your mind to it as long as you also believe in yourself. And here's a question I have. um what has been the hardest challenge for you as an breaking artist that wants to like get into that industry when this really is your passion? Because you're going in, that I've known for almost a year now, you're going in all or nothing. So like what is the mental health challenges you might have because of that, since this is your passion?
Like I think it's mostly like just failure, and it's just like rejection, because it's just like I don't know, like just noticing, just knowing that like this is like your dream, this is your everything, this is like your baby, and you failed at it. It's like I don't know, it's gonna take a toll. It's gonna take a toll on you, just your whole mental health. It's gonna be like, damn, if I try to do that, am I gonna fail at it too? Because
Do
if
you
that was
think
my,
you're gonna get it like the first time around, or you're
I
okay with
mean,
failing like
the
your
thing
first
is though,
like
it's just
10,
like
15, 20
I
times?
have failed. Like I have failed like 3 to 4 or 5 times already. So it's just like I just knew I had to get back up. If I quit now, like no one's ever gonna just tell me to keep going. I have to just keep pushing myself. So I know I'm at the point now that like I understand everything more. So now I have more of a leverage. But before I didn't understand everything, that's why I kept failing at what I was doing. So now that I'm starting to understand the music business side of stuff and like the structure of music and everything, like now I'm seeing the progress, I'm seeing the views go up, I'm seeing the fans, I'm seeing more people starting to engage with me more. So and more people starting to understand me more. So it's like you could fail, like that's cool to fail and everything, but it's just like I know that if I like reach that point of like, okay, I reached success and then I messed up that opportunity, that's the part that scares me. Like if I ever have that opportunity to just become like extremely famous and then or extremely rich or just get out of the situation that I'm in currently, like, it's just like, damn, like, I feel that like I fucked up at it. Like, I can't even do anything else. Like, that's how I know that will take a toll on my mental health. Cause I've been in that position before. I was 16, 17 years old. I was rapping, and then I noticed that a lot of people weren't listening to my music. My friends were, but a lot of other people weren't listening to it. So I was just like, maybe this isn't for me. So I stopped rapping. It was because of like my little cousin, like his name is Jason, but he told me like, yo, you're really good at this rapping shit. Like, you're really, really good. Like, I don't know why you're not rapping, but whatever is stopping you, stop it. Cause like, you're really good at this shit. And since then, I just been on go. Since then, I've just been thinking about music, writing. That's just been my passion. Like, as much as I tried running away from it, when you know it's just your passion, you're gonna keep coming to it until it kicks you down, until it tells you stop. Like,
I 100% agree. Like, my passion is giving back to individuals, especially people of color, and making a way for them to have a safe space and just to impact the world and impact youth and young adults.
water. No,
Sure, go ahead. You're more than welcome.
No,
you
like
good. Yeah, like my goal is to do that, and it's a hard job. Like, and it's like my goal is I really just don't want to mess up anybody's opportunity to impact. And like not impact a life I know I definitely could have, and continuously keep working. But sometimes you will get door slammed in your face, and they will say no. And especially if you fumble a great big bag, like is gonna hit a blow. Like, but I think the thing from that is really learn the lesson of what you messed up on, and like learning.
What you do next?
What do I do next? How do I it's not even sometimes things you could fix. It's more like what could have I done differently? So can I ensure that it's not something that's a repetitive act? And that's what I've learned through every encounter. That's the best advice I tell people. I'm like, look, I don't got everything, but I can tell you if I can do certain things all over again, I would.
Definitely.
But
Definitely.
I would just learn. I would take more notes on like the things I definitely know I messed up on. And that's that, like, so I can not make those same decisions for the future, because nobody's trying to fumble a bag out here. I don't know about you, but I ain't fumbling no bag.
Definitely trying.
Like, so I can understand where you're coming from and where your passion is driven from. Like, especially if you got that one cousin that always supports you and everything. Like, I got that one aunt that actually she was on my podcast that just is like, keep going. Like, what you're doing is making an impact.
No. Not real. That's real. Like, that's just love. Like, personally, that's just love. And I always show them love for that. Like, every day. Like, we can fight, fuss, whatever. It's just like, you're the reason why I'm doing this right now. Like, respectfully, I'm doing it for myself. But like, you're the reason why like I pushed myself to do it. So like, I'll always have love for him for that. Like, I always show him love for it. Like, he can push me away. Like, he can do whatever. But I'm always gonna come up and try to like bear hug him or whatever, and try to like make sure like, listen, like, you're the reason why I'm rapping. You're the reason why I'm doing this. Like, you're the reason why. I mean, I'm doing it for myself, but like,
of course,
you pushed me. Like, you really did push me, and I always will thank him for that. Always will thank him for that.
Of course, it's good to always have a good support system. Do you feel like, with Zlutty, does Zlutty have a support system around him? Because I'm pretty sure you say you're 4K, but what is 4? For one, let's backtrack. What does 4K even stand for?
4K is just like high quality. Like, I put myself at like a high point. Like, I'm the best of the best type of thing. I know it's kind of like a big head thing to say, but it's just like, that's what you have to start thinking when you get inside this type of business. Like, in the music business, you have to think you're the best. Because if you don't think you're the best, nobody else is going to think you're the best. And I want everybody who's a part of 4K to feel like that. Like, you're the best in whatever you do. That's if you're playing football, if you're in school, if you're in like a cameraman, if you're just rapping or singing or whatever you're doing, Twitch streaming. Like, if you have that 4K next to your name, you're the best of the best. Regardless of what you do, you're the best of the best.
Okay, so tell me about it. It's a group, or is it just you?
It's a
let me know.
It's a collective. It's a collective, but it's like a family, like a big family. But you know, we have our ups and downs, we have our fights and everything. But it's just like a big family. But as right now, I see that we're just a collective, big collective.
You see it as a collective,
in a support group. A very big support group.
Okay, so as 4K, exactly who? I'm not gonna say who, because you know people come and go and things like that. But like, what does 4K entail? Like, what can we expect from 4K?
Just a lot. Like we're just gonna be in your face. Like as much as we can. Like we're just gonna be in your face. Like TikTok, you're probably gonna see one of our TikToks on your feed. Instagram, you're probably gonna see one of us on Instagram. Like on the charts, on the music charts, you're gonna see one of us on there. Like I just want 4K to be everywhere. Like you see Sony everywhere. Like you see Canon everywhere. Like you see Kanye everywhere. Like I want you to see 4K everywhere.
Okay. Okay. So, what are some of the things that people do in 4K? I know you're a rapper.
hmm
Who else? Like, what type of industries
Um,
y'all got in this
and we have
group?
we have a couple of athletes. We have a couple of dancers. We have a couple of Twitch streamers. Have a photographer. Rappers. I think I just said that, but engineer. Uh, TikTokers. All that good
So
stuff.
you got wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So you got people that do music, you got people that are into different types of social media, you got people that actually are into videography and photography. All right, so y'all are well versed in the idea for social media and how you guys can elevate together. That's really, really a good idea. So like you can always keep a lot of things in house in order to not pay anybody outside. That's the goal. That's the goal here. Build with a team so then y'all all making money together.
Exactly.
As y'all should. Shit. I ain't mad at y'all. I have another question for you. How do you think music plays an impact on our current generation? And do you think there's negative effects or do you think there's any positive
I'll
effects?
speak on the negative because like the biggest thing, and just because it's just on my TikTok like daily, is the gang culture. The gang culture is like a big thing with music, like right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell me about it. Maybe like I kind of think I got a general idea, but maybe I'm not so well versed because I ain't in the music industry like that. Tell me about it.
I'll just say like I feel like kids see something on TV and they want to emulate it so bad. Like they want to be that so bad that they go out and do it themselves. So like let's say there's a certain group in New York. Like let's go for Woo, for example. Like there's a Woo in New York. There will be a kid that's probably all the way in Charlotte, like South Charlotte, and he's gonna be like, "Oh, I'm Woo now," and probably gonna have a group of his friends who's gonna call themselves Woo, and then they're gonna probably find a couple of kids who they want to beat up and they want to they want to punch on, and they want to do a couple things to them just because they want to prove their worth, like prove that they are what they say they are. So like kids just want to emulate stuff so bad, and even with like even with the females too, with their music, like they'll see someone like Megan Thee Stallion and they'll think that like, oh, like I have to be just like her. I have to have that. Like I need to have that butt. I need to have that body. Like I need to have everything that like I need to have her knees, all that. Like they just emulate it so bad. I mean, like for the artists, it's good for them. But like for the kids and the parents, it's just like they're going through the worst. Like they're going through all that. And the kids, they're not noticing that they're going through a lot because they're probably causing some trauma for themselves because they're doing all these things that they're trying to emulate. Like having sex at an early age. Like there's a bunch of kids who'll be like 11 and 12 just because they heard someone on a song doing it, they want to do it too. So
now, do you feel like your music at all? Like I don't want to throw you under the bus. Do you think like your music would have that same effect on kids?
I would definitely say my music would. Like they definitely would hear some of my music and then they would try to like emulate certain things that I would say. But like that's why I hope kids listen to what I say like in interviews and what I see on my stories, because what I see on my story is totally different from what I see in like my music and everything in my TikToks. Like I always try to emulate to them. Like I always try to place them like, listen, like what I'm saying in my songs, I could be saying it because I've lived it, I've gone through it, but I don't want them to go through it.
Like, so you want to be a teacher more, like you don't have to do this.
You don't have to do it.
Somebody already went through this for you.
Like I'm trying to tell you what it's like out there. Like I've had friends who's done certain things. I've had friends who's done this, that, and the third. I'm not gonna say things, but they've been in certain situations that I think you don't want to be in. So just stay in school, keep up with your grades, listen to your parents. Like that's the main thing. Like as much as they sound crazy, like they've gone through life too.
I can certainly agree.
Yeah, they've gone through life. They've gone through everything. They've gone through more things that you've gone through. So I always listen to my mom. I mean, she'll say a couple things that's just like, all right, yeah, whatever you're talking about. You probably don't even know what you're talking about. But certain things I will actually sit back and listen and be like, maybe she has a point. Like maybe she is right. And she's a Libra, so she be having a point in it sometimes. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
I hear that you're really into this whole Zodiac thing. So explain to me how this Zodiac thing goes along with your music.
It doesn't play a big part, but it plays a big part. Like Zodiac, like for me, like I started with the whole Zodiac thing because like an ex, like she was into it. She would always talk about it. I'll just be like, all right, whatever. Like I care less. But when we broke up, I started learning more about just like zodiacs and like
astrology.
yeah, it was just fascinating to me. And then I just started noticing like my friends would act a certain way because their signs were a certain thing. Like one of my best friends, like, well, one of my closest friends right now, like, is a Pisces. Like, I'm cool with him. Me and him, we talk every day. I talk to him more than my little brother sometimes. I be feeling bad for my little brother. I'm like, damn, like, I want to talk to my little brother sometimes, but I be talking to him like he's my little brother. But he's like a little brother to me too. So like I just try to just emulate stuff like he would talk to me about, and then like my cousins, like there are certain signs I'll see what they would do. Like my cousin's a Leo, my other cousin's an Aquarius. Like he's nonchalant sometimes, but that's just how he is. So
okay, so I have another question. Since we're talking about the zodiac signs, you made some songs that reference zodiacs.
Sagittarius.
So tell me more about that song.
Well, basically, the song is about a girl who, me and her, we was cooling. We was cooling at the time. We were just chilling and everything. And she told me like, make a song about me. So I asked her what her sign was, and basically like I just know that Sagittarius are just crazy and they just like having a great time. So literally in the beginning of the song is like, this isn't a poetic justice song. Let's spark this wood and get busting. Like let's smoke this wood. Let's smoke this wood real quick. Let's take this drive. Let's take this cruise and let's go do what we're gonna go do. Like whatever the wind takes us, that's what we're gonna go do. And till this day, she thanks me for that song. She loves that song, but I mean, we're not really that close, but she still loves that song. That's like her favorite song.
Okay. Now, are you gonna be making any of the music moving forward with Zodiacs?
I was thinking about making like a whole mixtape for just like Zodiacs, like literally like
that would be spicy.
Yeah, I was gonna
be real spicy.
It was gonna. I wanted to drop it around like next year. I actually wanted to drop it like in December, but complications about just going to the studio and just like the group and everything. I gotta handle certain things and everything.
You're a businessman.
Yeah, I gotta handle what I gotta handle. So, but definitely that's coming soon. Definitely coming soon. I don't know what I'm gonna name it yet, but it's gonna be a great mixtape. I'm gonna fuck with it a lot. If they like Sagittarius, you're definitely gonna like that.
Okay, so let me ask you this: how do you think your music has an effect on people's mental health?
I'll say for the little kids, I feel like they think they're little gangbangers. like I just feel like they think that they're gonna shoot us something. Like I've had like this one kid, like there's this one kid who lives around my complex building. He's always walking his dog and he always wants to see me for some reason because I'm his favorite TikToker. So he was be like, oh, I'm big 4K. Like I'm big 4K. Like who's gonna tell me who's what? Like I'm big 4K. I'm like, oh, calm it down. So like for them, I would say like they just think they're little game bangers. But I always talk to him. I'll be like, listen, like you don't gotta do that lifestyle. That's not what it is. He's like, no, I just like 4K. I just like the lifestyle that you guys live. I'm not trying to emulate it.
But you're not a game banger really like that at all.
Not really. Like I've had friends who did it. I'm mostly talking about what they talking about. I'm not gonna speak on it, but I'm mostly to myself. Like me, I was a kid in school that was like getting straight A's, like B's too. I had a scholarship to Princeton. Did not take that.
Wait, whoa, pause.
That's everybody loves that story. Everybody loves that one.
You had a scholarship to Princeton.
Yes, man. Did not take
one of the most prestigious schools.
Yes, man.
In the country.
Yes, man.
And you didn't take it.
Nope.
Are you actually cotton picking, Mike?
Why? I mean, like the thing is though.
Why? Why didn't you go?
So
was it
number one? It wasn't a full ride. So it was like I was still gonna pay some money. So
okay. Everybody has to pay money. Like I can get that part. Next.
And then it was just like I was away from, like, I was a mama's boy. Like, I was a real mama's boy. Like, my mom was gonna go to Pennsylvania. I was gonna stay in Jersey. I was like, I'm not doing this. Like, I'm not doing this. I don't want to do that. Like, I gotta go with my mom. So I chose a community college near her. Like, I was like, I gotta stay with my mom. Like, she needs me. Like, that's who I have to stay with. Little did I know that was kind of not the best decision, but I'm happy I made the decision. I don't regret it. You know, I've learned a lot since then. And I'm happy. I'm happy that I didn't make that decision because I wouldn't be pursuing this dream right now. I would have been living somebody else's life. I wouldn't have been living my life.
I think you still could have did music while you was at Princeton. That's just my perception.
I mean, yeah,
That's just my
everybody has their views.
perception.
Everybody has their views.
I ain't gonna lie. However, I can understand it.
Mhm.
Like, if going to school is not your passion, I always tell people, don't do something for the sake of family members, friends, other people that are part of your life, because that's their dream that they have for you. Find something that works for you. Find something that makes you happy, and learn how to make money out of it, and make a living out of it where it can sustain you, your family, or those around you, and still you have time to have a social life or have an impact within this world. Like, as long as you good and this is really what you want to do, you'll always have the support of me, and you'll always have the support of probably those that are around you.
Of course. And like the music thing, like I always saw myself as just always a part of it. And like, listen, I can always go back to school. Princeton isn't like where I want to go, where I want to do in life. Like, I know when I'm in my 30s, I would definitely want to be an A&R. Like, I definitely want to be more in the music business. I want to like grow artists that are coming out of like certain areas, like especially in Jersey, because we don't get love at all.
You really think so?
I mean,
because I've seen a lot of Jersey artists, or like Sis is a Jersey artist, like Lauryn Hill's a Jersey artist. Sissa? You didn't know Sissa was a Jersey? She's from Maplewood. Really? Yes, she went to Columbia High. I never knew that. Lauryn Hill. Who else?
But those are like singers though.
Queen Latifah is a rapper.
That's like 20 years ago, like 20.
There's like some people that still came from Jersey. Give them credit.
I mean, I give them their credit, but if you were to ask them how long did it take them, they will tell you it was a minute, just because of the fact of like they live in Jersey.
I think it's also who you know.
That plays a yeah, okay. That plays a real big part.
Like, it's all in who you know and getting in front of the right people.
And that's what's helping me right now. I mean, the fact that like I have connections to New York and everything, that's what's helping my music career go up. If I didn't have those connections, I probably would have been going through what some of those Jersey artists is going through right now. But like, if you were to sit back and ask them, like Queen Latifah, even at that time, you can even ask her, even though Jersey was on the rise at her time, like everybody was coming out of Jersey at that time. So you can even ask her, like, it was hard. It was still hard because it's just like, it's Jersey. They look at Jersey as just like New York's little brother, or
I can agree with that.
Or Philly, not Philly's Pennsylvania,
cousin, and then like, New York's
that's what I'm saying. Like, it's weird. So it's just like, I just want people to just know that like Jersey, we have artists, we have rappers, we have great singers, we have actors, we have great athletes, great football players, great basketball players, amazing basketball players. They don't see that. We have so much to offer, but they just see us as just like this little thing. And I know some people in Jersey like it like that, but I always saw Jersey as like another ATL. Like, I don't know why, but I always saw it as another ATL. Like, we have so much more to offer than what they credit us for.
I can agree and disagree with that at the same time. I think it depends also what part of Jersey you're from too, because there are parts of Jersey that it's just like, I even being here 24 years, I'm like, what? But then there are parts of Jersey that are like, you know, doing really well. Like, Newark got some people, Union County got some people. South Jersey got some great people, especially if the closer you get to Philly, like, they got some talent that's in there. So I think it's like finding where those people that are talented at and giving them their flowers.
Just not being heard. That's the thing. Like, that's like the biggest thing. And like, sometimes I'll be sitting back watching like Fat Boy, because like he's quote unquote the voice of New Jersey right now.
And he came from Irvington, not far from me.
Yeah. So it's just like hearing him saying like, we don't get looked at. It's not that probably we don't get looked at. It's just that we're not trying to get looked at. Like, we're not trying as hard as we could. Like, once I've noticed this about a lot of Jersey artists is once they reach a certain position, they stick with that position. Like Fetty Wap is a great example. Like, once he felt like, oh, I can make a hit at any time, he felt like, oh, I could just drop music anytime. I mean, granted, he did have his problems behind the scene and everything, but that messed up his credibility. That messed up just him being a powerhouse in the music industry because you kept waiting, and now your fans suffered, and now your fans had to go and look for a whole new artist to listen to, and then when you came back, they cared less.
So, that makes a lot of sense. That's true because like Fetty Wap was really popular in like between 2013 and 2015 and even in the 2016, and then like he dropped off, and now it's hard to get back your fans or even people to care because we have such a plethora of like people now to listen to.
I'm a big Fetty fan too, and that's what hurt me the most, just seeing that, because like I literally seen him go from like the highs of the highs now to the lows of the lows, and I'm not saying that he can't come back from it. It's just like
he got double work, like do double or even triple the amount of work in order for that to happen. So Zlutty, I got a question for you. Let's go a little off topic and whatnot. All right, so here's a question that I got for you, Zlutty. Let's talk relationships and love, because you make your little melodical music, even though it's coming through Kenny, but it's really through Zutty's mouth. So, why aren't you settled down? Why aren't you settled down? Let me know why. Or is there a special young lady in your life that's taking your interest?
Like, it's not nobody's like sparking my interest. There's a lot of ladies out there that I've talked to and we've had great conversations with and everything. It's just that like a lot of them just notice what my first love is, and that's just music. And they figured that if they can't fight that, they might as well just stay off to the side, and then when he's actually ready to love me, then he'll take that love, or it will be too late for him, whichever one goes. But me personally, I would care less. But there has been that one special person. We've talked like multiple times, but right now probably isn't like the best time for us. And it's just best for us to just stay like separate and just let us handle what we gotta handle. So like she's a boss. Like she's a boss. Like what she gotta handle, she gotta handle. So I just let her do what she gotta do, and I gotta do what I gotta do right now. And if we ever cross paths later on in life, I hope we do. Then I hope we have that connection. If we don't, we don't. We just say our highs and our goodbyes and then move on to the next life. That's it.
Do you feel like a lot of young emerging artists can have a successful relationship and also really love their passion just as much?
It's really hard. And I've noticed that. Like, my recent relationship, she tried. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like she really did try. Like she tried just like being a part of just my world. And I noticed that that's taken away from her world. And that's selfish. Like, as much as like I wanna be selfish, that's just selfish on her part because she's losing out a lot of her life just because she wants to live a life with someone so bad. And that's cool. Like, and that's fine. That's what love is supposed to be. But if that one person's first love isn't you, then why waste your time? Because what if he goes up and then you're nowhere to be found at that moment in time? He's gonna find someone else to be comforted with, and then that person is gonna take that person's spot. So
that makes a lot of sense. I can understand that. I think also a lot is that coming from a woman's perspective that has, in a sense, dated somebody that has done music and has had passions about that. I can understand that like we're on two completely different paths, and some women cannot handle that. Like you don't have the time, you don't have like sometimes sessions run to 2-3 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes I know like an artist, once you start really getting big, like you're going on tours. And like if for women, like we like people now, like in the moment, like if I can't get access to you, and especially if I can't go on tour with you, like what am I supposed to do? I can't like just get up and leave work tomorrow. Like, okay, cool.
And that builds trust issues too. A
It
lot of trust
does.
issues, because it's just like on the male side, like I don't know about the female side, but on the male side, it's just like, what is she doing at home?
You don't think that women have trust issues of what y'all doing?
Yeah, of course. But I'm just saying though,
But
it's
it's
just
like you
like,
have access to all these
yeah.
women because they're starting to like you. They're starting to want to be. They're sneaking into your dressing rooms. They sneaking onto your tour bus. They doing God knows what. So,
But then
what you
again,
think
that's
we
like
thinking?
certain men, they know how to control themselves. They know how to just
I'll
be
give you
like,
that.
they'll be like, all right, like that's not what I'm here to do. I'm here strictly on business. I'm trying to do that. I'm not saying that some men don't fall for the trap of doing what they do, but if it was truly a mistake, you'll go up to your woman, you'll let her know that, like, listen, I did do that. I know we talked about it. I know we talked about I wasn't going to, but this and that happened. If you can forgive me for it, then you can forgive me for it. I know you wouldn't forgive me today, but if you want to do a process, we could do a whole process. But there's certain guys that just don't care. And I feel like I'm kind of in that realm of like, I don't care. Like, that's why I feel like just me being with a significant other right now just wouldn't be right, because I'm in that mindset of the only thing that matters to me is my music. And your feelings aren't my biggest concerns right now. I'm concerned about them, but they're not really my biggest concern. So me cheating, it wouldn't cross my mind until probably like until she texts me, and then I'll be like, oh, I have someone. Like, I totally forgot about it. And it's happened to the best of us. It's happened to a lot of people. Like, I've been in situations where like I'm in a full-on relationship with someone, and I went to a studio session, and literally like a girl swing by, and I'm like, oh, she looks kind of good, and me and her started conversating, and then one thing led to another. I'm in a hotel room, so it's just like, oh my, oh man, that's a lot.
No.
That is a lot, but it's just like you just forget. Like certain guys just forget in certain aspects. Me, I'm the forgetful, but I don't care for your feelings at that moment in time. But but that's just off of past things, past other things like that. But it's just, I just personally don't care, because you probably was doing something too anyway. So that's how my brain goes off of.
Hold up, pause. It sounded like you got trust issues, sir. Like we,
Oh, not big. I'm big on those. Yeah, I have
like
major trust issues. Major trust issues.
if just because you're doing something, that doesn't mean the other person is partaking in those issues.
I'm
Like
but
women, I'm not gonna say we're all loyal creatures, because I could be the first to say that is not entirely always true.
mhm.
However, if you're choosing to be with somebody and you're choosing to make that your significant other, you gotta give them the benefit of doubt to trust you, especially in that you be able to trust them, especially if you know in your mind, like, this person really loves me, this person really cares about me. So
Again, it's
wouldn't
just
that
like,
make sense?
but it's just like you gotta understand that things happen. That's the part. Like, I understand, like, you can have the most loyalist woman in the world, and you can have the most loyalist man in the world,
Mm-hmm.
but things just happen, and it's just out of it's in their control, but it's just out of their control at that moment in time. Nature
Well,
just takes its course at that point.
or I mean, I guess I think for women, I can only speak on my behalf, maybe, or maybe I can speak for the common woman. Most women only cheat when their needs are not being met, or they're not being seen as valuable by their significant other. So if they feel like he doesn't value what I bring to the table, he's not being appreciative of
I can
what
see
I'm
that.
doing, of course, and they're gonna kind of go outside to find somebody that can be the filler for that.
Mhm.
Now, granted, there are some women that do cheat just because they want to be. They're like, the masculine side might come out and be like, I just want to get a nut off. Like, that does happen, and I'm not saying it doesn't. Let me just clarify that. But most women, they cheat because they're trying to seek a need and validation
Mhm.
because they're not receiving that at home. Versus men, it's just what I've noticed. If it's right in front of them, you expect them to stop.
Respectfully.
Like, there's no like.
I mean, like, I've been in situations where like stuff like that has happened, and I've been in a full on relationship, and I'll like be like, okay, I can't do this. I want to, but I can't, type of thing. But there has been times where it slipped my mind that I have a female. But like a female has told me, and my mother has told me many times, if you forget that you have a woman and you cheat,
she ain't the one for you.
exactly. So
She ain't the one for you.
might as well just say our goodbyes and go on to the next person, if anything. That's if the person wants to stick around, because there are some women out there that would do stick around.
I have sticked around, but I think it depends on the love that y'all had. Because, like I said, some men just literally, like, it was in front of me. Like, what can I do?
Or they cheated first.
Yeah, like, so it can be a tit for tat, but I think it depends, like, on how it went down and the bond in the relationship in which I built, which is either worth fixing or worth separating. Because we ain't here for the toxicity no more. We toxic free over here at this point, or at least we're striving to be.
The toxic moments still happen. The toxic moments still
They
happens.
do. At this point, you can't always run away from them.
Of course,
you can't. But does Kenny ever see himself being in a relationship, or he's not really focused on relationships until like he makes his dreams come true?
It's not even like that. I mean, there'd be nights I'll be sitting back and I'll be like, girlfriend would be cool. Like, it would be cool if I could just lay up with someone right now and just watch a movie and just be like, oh, lovey-dovey and shit. But it's just like, I just want this dream to happen right now. And it's not like I want to eventually come on and be like, all right, let me fuck with somebody. Even during like me chasing this dream, I might just say like, let me just go after someone. Because I told myself, at least if I'm 27, I should just try to go after someone and try to do the whole family thing. Because I know my mother wants some type of grandchildren. It's like, and I know my little brother ain't gonna be the only one doing it, so I gotta do something. So, but I'm cool. I'm cool off of just being cool off of the rest of my life. Just being single for the rest of my life, I don't see that as a big problem.
You don't think that being in a relationship would actually have a great beneficial effect to your mental health?
No, because like
it wouldn't change. Like if you was single in a relationship, like you see, either way, you okay with mentally.
Like the thing about me is just like I've noticed one or two things. I could be in a relationship and I could be completely settled, everything could be handled and everything, but then now I have to tend to this person. And if I have children with this person, I have to tend to this person and our children. So I have to give all my attention to them. And I've noticed that just off of my experience, which is my parents, that I need to be there. I can't not be there. I have to be there for every moment. I have to be there for every football game, every thing, anything that's going on in their lives. Even with my wife at that moment, at that time. Like, I just had to handle exactly what I got going on. Even if I have like just a little bit of music things. As long as I just have like that time to spend with my wife or my kids or anything, I just want to make sure that I have that time for them. It's not that I don't want it. I'm just trying to make sure that I took care of what I took care of so that I can take care of them.
Okay, I can appreciate that.
Even though they don't technically exist as of right now, but future reference.
Okay, right. I can appreciate that. But you also say you good with being single for the rest of your life too.
Yeah, I mean that right there is just something that everybody just has to just sit there and accept. Like everyone. Like I've met people who were 70, like never married anyone. They probably have thought of it and have been married, but then canceled their engagement. Just for the simple fact of
wow,
they saw a life of tending to someone's needs when they've been tending to people's needs their entire life. So they felt as if being single for the rest of their life means that they can be with themselves and they can be at peace with themselves.
Okay.
Even though, I mean, they might be lonely once in a while. And the person has told me they have been lonely once in a while. But that's what family is for. You know, you're going to have a couple of females that's going to be around. You know, if you have your females that are around that understand that you're not here for a relationship, that's cool.
Oh. Yeah. Oh, okay. So Kenny, let's begin to wrap up and whatnot. What do you hope? What can we hope to see from you starting in 2022?
I'm gonna be in your face a lot.
You're in our face now. I
mean, right now, yeah, of course. But like, I'm gonna be in your face a lot. Like, you're gonna turn on your screen. Like, you're gonna go on every social media platform, World Star, everything. Like, I'm gonna be there. And like, right now, I might sound a little like, oh, like we don't know you or anything, but I promise you, you guys are gonna know who I am in 2022, and I'm not gonna stop until you guys know who I am. Promise you.
If you can have one artist right now to work with, who would it be?
See, everybody say Drake. Everybody says Drake, but like,
but then it happens awkwardly enough.
I mean, Drake is that dude. He's in tech with everything. Like, Drake is like the most, like, he knows what's going on. Like, he's just in the know. So like Drake, if he knows, he knows.
Mm-hmm.
But Andre 3000.
Really?
Yeah, that's my guy. Like,
okay.
I don't know why. It's just like, I watched his TV show, his Cartoon Network TV show.
Mm-hmm. I can remember
3000. That. Yeah. So since then, like, I've always been an Andre 3000 fan. Like, I loved his music. I love the way he just like can switch it to every genre. Like, I always told myself that I always wanted to emulate him. Like, I never wanted to be a Jay or a Kanye or anything like that. I always wanted to be an Andre 3000. Like, I wanted to be everything. I wanted to be everything in the music industry. Like, I want to be in every genre, even if it's Christian rap. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm with it.
Okay, I can appreciate that. Was there anything else you want our listeners and your fans to know?
Just watch out. And also tune in to every single Joy stream, like every single one, like every single podcast. If she's doing like a little fundraiser, pop out for those. Like, you might see me there, you feel me? Like, you might get a little, if you fuck with me, you might get a little autograph, you know? Like, don't be a little too hot though. But word.
Well, Kenny and /Zlutty 4K, I appreciate you coming on today to the podcast, giving us your 2 cents, your background and everything. Mm-hmm. Let the people know one more time where they can find you at.
Zlutty 4K on all platforms and on all social media handles.
And that's it, guys. Thank you. You can find us at jwpcoach.com. You can find us on all social medias at joyfulwellness_, Instagram, Twitter, and for YouTube, you can find us at Joyful Wellness Project LLC. And until next time, guys, it's been a great pleasure, and I can't wait to see you guys soon with another podcast episode. All right, bye.
Shorty a little Kit Kat, I might break. She keeps saying she's single, but she knows she taking. Brody can't fuck that trees, but I know he won't chase. Shorty just bend it over and just shake it. Shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it. Go ahead, shake it, go ahead, shake it.